Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's session. Today, we're going to be talking about how to spot scams online. Before we get started today's webinar is proudly sponsored by Breezeline. Breezeline is the 8th largest cable provider in the US. They offer internet, TV, and voice services to residents and businesses in 12 states. So we are so happy to have them as a sponsor on today's webinar. It's a really important topic. We're talking about online scam safety. But before we get started, we have a quick video from Breezeline.
Wi-Fi your way home, powered by Plume Home Pass. Technology that spreads ultra-fast Wi-Fi to every inch of your home. We make having a Wi-Fi supercharged home easy by including a SuperPod with your Wi-Fi gateway package. Learn more at breezeline.com.
All right, and if you'd like to learn more about Breezeline after this session, you can always visit them at www.breezeline.com. All right, let's jump in. All right, today we're going to be talking about how to spot scams online. So what we're going to be covering, what are online scams, how to spot them, some of the most common scams you might run into, and what the red flags are for scams online, and what to do if you are scammed online. So starting off with, what are online scams? So internet fraud is a type of cybercrime fraud or a type of deception which makes use of the internet, and it could involve hiding of information or providing incorrect information for the purpose of tricking victims out of money, property, or inheritance. So using the tools of the internet at their disposal to basically commit fraud or cybercrime. It doesn't play out much differently than fraud does and scams do in real life, but it just has the added complexity of the internet. So for anyone using the internet on a regular basis, or really at all, it's important to keep ourselves informed about what's going on and what to look out for when it comes to online scams. So a bit about online scams to give you a bit of an idea of how large this issue is. So in 2021, $6.9 billion were lost due to internet crimes. There were 32,400 complaints in 2021 related to cryptocurrency, which is a form of internet-based payment. And 847,376 complaints were filed about internet crime in 2021. So this is a big problem. It affects everyone who is online and even those who are offline. And it's something that we all have to work together towards combating and being knowledgeable about. So let's talk about how to spot some scams online. So what we're going to be doing in this session. So what we're going to be doing in this section is I am going to go through some common scams that you might run into online and talk about some of the components of them, how they're structured and how to spot them. Now, I can't possibly cover every single type of scam online, every single scenario, but a lot of these will give you a good idea of some of the common features of a scam, and then we'll go over some of those main red flags for online scams. So first of all, let's talk about tech support scams. Tech support scams are increasingly proliferating across the internet, and they specifically target those who are newer to technology. So if you're just learning about the internet or getting to know how to use a device for the first time, you're going to be someone that's heavily targeted by scams of this nature. So tech support scams basically will try to convince you that there's something wrong with your device and make you pay for a problem that doesn't exist. Additionally, they may also install software on your device to say that they're going to help you fix a problem, and then they instead use that software to spy on you or to find information on your device and steal it. So when it comes to tech support scams, you want to watch out for things like urgent pop-ups, so messages that come on your screen that seem urgent, that seem unexpected. However, real security warnings and messages will never ask you to call a phone number. So if you think there's an issue with your device, update your security software, run a virus scan, and call for help at a known place called Best Buy Geek Squad. If you're using a Mac computer, go to the Genius Bar and get some help from there. Never call someone or give over information to anyone who has contacted you unprompted, even under the guise of a tech support scam, even under the guise of some sort of antivirus software. Always, when you are downloading or using an antivirus software or you're getting a pop-up, investigate the company. The best thing you can do is just do a quick Google search and you should be able to find information. So search the company or phone number that you are being contacted by or the phone number they're calling from, along with the word scam or complaint. If you're looking for tech support, do your own research to find a reputable company you know and trust. And always avoid unusual payment methods. This is something that's common across all scams, asking you to pay in unusual ways that are less traceable or harder for you to get back. That might mean cryptocurrency, that might mean gift cards, or that kind of stuff. So legitimate tech support companies won't ask you for payment in the form of gift cards, wire transfers, money transfer apps, or Bitcoin or other forms of cryptocurrency. These type of payment methods should only be used with friends and family and never for the payments of goods or services. So here are a couple examples of how these tech support scams might come up. So we may have seen some of these before: Mac virus warning, identity theft and hacking possibilities, contact emergency virus support now. Or this other one, security warning, please call us immediately, right? So we're seeing this example that I talked about. They're asking you to call. They are making this seem really urgent. The point of doing this and the way of doing this is to scare you, because these look really scary. And the point is to scare you so that you don't think about what you're doing and you just act immediately. The quicker you act, the less you think, the easier it is for them to scam you or get you to do something, give over some sort of information that you don't want to give over. So these big messages on your screen are your number one red flag that something is up, and it's not something necessarily wrong with your computer, but someone is trying to scam you. Another very common online scam are romance scams. So romance scammers may have a silver tongue, but they're going for your gold. So over $200 million was reported and lost in romance scams in 2019 alone. That number has grown in years since. So romance scams are when a nefarious person online tries to engage you in some sort of romantic relationship, and through that relationship, they will ask for money out of you or details. Now, these things can go on for a long time before anyone ever realizes something is wrong. And at first, it can seem really normal, but there's certain things that we can look out for when it comes to romance scams, because we do sometimes engage with things like online dating, and that's not always necessarily the beginning of a scam, but what we can watch out for. So always, again, with any scam, watching out for any sort of sudden sense of urgency. So say you've been talking to someone online, the romance has built slowly over time, and the scammer starts to request money, and it comes on quite urgently. Something's wrong with a family member, they're sick, they have gotten into trouble, and they need your help, and they need you to transfer the money right away. So the way these scams work is that they build them up slowly to gain your trust, and then when they feel that they've gained your trust enough, they start to test it by asking for small favors. It may be small amounts at first, and as things progress, they may ask for more or more. And it always comes under the guise of some sort of emergency. Family members are sick, I can't come see you, and the reason I can't come see you is that I don't have the money. If you only sent me the money, I could come visit you, and we could at last be with each other in person. Things like this. So if you ever are suspicious of someone online who you have been talking to and perhaps have sparked up a romance with, you want to do a search of your admirer. Often scammers will set up accounts using stolen photos from the internet. They may even use the same version of a name over and over and over again to scam other people. So what you can do is you can save their photos that are on their profile or that they've sent you, or search for their name to verify that they are who they say they are. If you use their photo and do a reverse image search on something like Google, and you see that that photo is coming up under the name of someone else, right away, that's a red flag, and you know that that's not really their photo. Alternatively, if you search the name and then search again scam or romance scam next to it, you may find that popping up on different forums and other people talking about how they've been scammed. That being said, if they're doing this for a first time, you may not get as much information here, so this can't be relied on alone, but it is a great way to find someone who might be a repeat offender and know that you are in fact being targeted. And as with any other scam, say no to things like gift cards. In extraordinary situations, you may offer to buy your suitor physical items. If they insist on a gift card or wire transfer instead, it's likely a scam, right? Sometimes we want to buy gifts for people that we care about, maybe that we're in relationships with. But if it comes in ways where they, instead of a physical gift, insist again on some sort of cash card or a wire transfer, that is something to look out for. So suspicious ways of getting money to you. Even if the situation seems legitimate, the method to which you have to give the money might seem odd, and that is a part of the scam to protect them against being found out or located. All right. Another type of scam is a general one that goes across the board. These are good news scams. So good news scams basically means that scammers may call someone out of the blue, say that you are owed a lottery winning, a vacation, a prize, a rebate. This may be a phone call, this may be a text message, this may be an email. They are claiming that you have some sort of big fortune or something good that you have to claim, but you have to make a payment in order to claim it. So with anything that seems too good to be true, it probably is. You never want to pay up front to receive any sort of winnings in something like this. So if someone reaches out to you saying, I have this prize for you, but in order to receive it, I need a small payment first, or I have this prize for you, in order to receive it, I need all of this information for you, and they ask you for a ton of information, your name, your address, your birth date, your social security, your social insurance number, anything like that, that is a red flag. And always when you get things like this, again, often these come in the form of email. Seek advice from a family member, a friend, or anyone else if you aren't sure whether the good news is real. Never act alone. Always seek help, and don't be embarrassed to ask for help. These things and these scams, they can be really convincing, and a lot of us don't see them right away, and it takes a second. So always know that you can get a second opinion on any sort of outreach that someone has you can always get a second opinion on any of these things. You never have to act that urgently. The reason that a lot of scammers want you to act urgently is so you don't get that secondary opinion, but there's no reason that you ever need to act urgently on any sort of communication, online or otherwise, that was something that you didn't seek out. Always get more information about the prize. Again, a quick search on the internet can help you see if the contest or sweepstake is actually real. If there's no evidence, it's likely a scam. Again, never pay for a prize. Sometimes they'll ask you to pay a processing fee or taxes, and it may seem small relative to the promised sum, but once they get some money from you, the payout will never arrive, and then you've lost that money you've paid out. So they've gotten money out of you, and you've never gotten anything back. And don't underestimate it, even if it's a really small amount, and you think, well, why would someone want to scam me out of this little money? It's because they do this a lot, so they're actually depending on volume. They're doing this over and over and over again to other people, and that can really add up over time for them. So here are some examples of those good news scams. Congratulations. You've won an Amazon gift card. It's like an email, and then you get messages maybe on social media. The Colorado Lotto, you've won. So all of these things, they can come in any sort of form, whether it's phone call, email, text, over social media, over WhatsApp. They will attack on all fronts, so be watching out for any of these things anywhere. Again, you can see in the example on the right for the Colorado Lotto one, really what they're asking for is a ton of information. So they're not always asking for cash up front. Sometimes they want to get as much information as possible they can from you so they can commit identity fraud and open credit cards under your name, stuff like that. So it's not a direct stealing of your money from you. They may ask for information in order to perpetrate the actual scam, which is to commit identity fraud or something like that. On the other side of this, we also have bad news scams. The Tech support scams kind of fall under this category, right? Bad news, you need to act immediately. Bad news scams might include something like the grandparent scam. You get a call from someone claiming to be your grandchild or else claiming to have your grandchild in some sort of form of custody, and you need to pay a fee to get them released or something like that. So they're preying on fear, again, telling you that you need to act urgently in order to prevent some horrible thing from happening. So again, many scammers hunt for victims with calls or emails claiming to be maybe a form of government agency, maybe police, the bank, you owe money, this person's in trouble, some of those scenarios. So you're always wise to be skeptical of anyone who demands anything out of the blue. So always ask for any clarifying questions. Government employees aren't paid on commission, so if a scammer gets irritated when you try to slow it down, they're probably a fraud, right? The more you can slow things down and see how they react, they'll get angrier. But always when in doubt, just hang up the phone. Just don't even engage at all is really the best path forward. But if you're unsure, you can just make sure that you are not giving over any information of your own and that you are not giving over any money. Always check with an organization directly as well. So these days, people can fake that they're calling from a different number. They can spoof numbers. So it may look like it's coming from the IRS or the CRA, but really it's a scammer. So don't trust that if you see the phone number and it looks familiar, that it is really that person calling. Always check with the organization directly, hang up the phone, find their phone number through a Google search or elsewhere. If it's your bank, look at the back of your bank card for the number and call directly. When you do this, when you say, I'm just going to hang up and I'm going to call back, they'll try to stop you from doing that, saying, no, we'll lose you, or they'll threaten you. That again is a red flag. So always, if you're in doubt, hang up the phone, look up the number, call the correct number, and make sure you talk to someone that you've reached out to. Don't accept that they have reached out to you and they are legitimately who they say they are. And again, odd payments, always. This is across the board. Never pay a bill with a gift card, wire transfer, cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. Any reputable organization will ask for a credit card or a check because they are traceable, and then you have protections on them. So anything outside of that scope is always a red flag immediately to stop communication. Again, here are some examples. These can vary from being, kind of minuscule to really big scams. So for example, on the left, we have like the Netflix one, your suspension notice. Your account has been suspended unless you restart your membership and pay this fee, and then you're paying money, but you're not paying it to Netflix, you're paying it to a scammer. So that's like a kind of smaller one. But you can get one from your bank, or you can get one from someone claiming to have a member of your family who's in danger, or claiming to be a member of your family who's in danger. All of these bad news ones preying off fear, so you act quickly and take urgent action. And the emphasis here is always on the urgency of the situation. You have to act now. That is so you do not have time to think. So general red flags to watch out for. Those are some examples, and hopefully we can see some patterns across them and apply them elsewhere when other types of scams come up. But general red flags to watch out for. Threats. Things like, we're going to seize your account. You have to act immediately or else. Secrets. Don't tell anyone about this. No, you can't hang up. Let me check with a friend. No, don't tell anyone or this will happen, right? Always urging you to keep secret. That urgency. You have to act immediately. Beware of caps locks and exclamation points, right? Trying to just get you afraid so that you act. Automated voice scams, so especially with phone calls, if you receive one, it's an automated message on the other side. It's likely a scam. There's no one there. Again, they're just working with volume. They're not trying very hard. They're just trying to see how many people they can get. And then those payment methods, watching out for unusual payment methods, including money wire, money card, cryptocurrency, or gift cards. So what do you do if you are scammed? So if you suspect that you have been the victim of a scam, a couple things you want to do. And I just want to say before we start this, just note that when you just receive an email or phone call from a scammer, this does not mean that you have been scammed. It doesn't mean your personal information has been compromised. Everyone receives these scam emails. Everyone receives these scam text messages and phone calls, right? Everyone gets them. It is not the getting them that means you're scammed. It is the engaging with them that can put you at risk. So if you get these phone calls, these emails, the best thing you can do is just delete the email, hang up the phone, and just set it aside. You don't have to worry about someone stealing your information if that happens. However, where you may be at risk, where you put yourself at risk, is if you click on any links. However, where you put yourself at risk is if you click on any links, provide any information, open attachments, talk to the person further. So the best thing you can do in any situation, if you are currently being scammed or feel like someone's trying to scam you, is just cut off communication. That saves you. You do not need to be worried about if you just receive a call and you don't answer it, or you receive an email and you don't do anything with it. Just delete it, ignore it, hang up. That does not mean you've been scammed. It just means you've been targeted, and we all get targeted. That being said, if you have been scammed and money has been sent through a bank, immediately report the loss to your bank's fraud department. You need to act as quickly as possible to make sure you minimize any sort of losses. If the money was sent by mail or courier, call your National Postal Inspection Service. You may need the tracking number for the parcel. Again, the key here is to act quickly. And if the money was sent via gift card, contact the gift card issuer and check the card packaging for fraud contact info. The other thing you can do and you should do is to record all of the communication. So take screenshots, take notes, if anything you can remember about the interactions, what the phone numbers were, what they said their name was. Try to note anything you can remember or take screenshots of anything you can about the interaction with the scammer. That way you can give that information over to whoever you're dealing with, and specifically this may help other people in the future not fall victim to the same scam when we can see how it played out. So another thing you can do if you've fallen victim to the scam, if you are in the States, always report incidents of fraud to 911 or to 520-351-4900. You can also report to the Federal Trade Commission at ftc.gov/complaint. Report to the IRS and government imposter scams to Federal Trade Commission, identitytheft.gov. And you can report mail fraud to the U.S. Postal Inspection Service at postalinspection.uspis.gov. If you're in Canada, kind of same deal, call 911, or you can call 1-888-495-8501. You can also report to the Competition Bureau at competitionbureau.gc.ca. And when it comes to these scams, do not feel ashamed to report any incidents. Your information can help protect future victims, so it's really important that you don't feel ashamed, and to minimize more damage, to report these things as quickly as possible. Now, if you want to test your skills on spotting scams, Scam Spotters is a great place to check out. You can go check them out at scamspotter.org, but we'll look at it right now, and you can see it's a great little way to just continue to quiz yourself and test yourself, make sure that you know what to look out for. All right, here we are at scamspotter.org. So here you can find out quick information and resources on scams, but there's this great tool they have up here called Quiz. It's a great way to test your knowledge. So you can basically come here, click Let's Play, and it's going to start taking you through scenarios. You can read these. So here's one, and you have to tell them whether it's safe or a scam. So we'll read this through. Hey there, I know this is Ford, but could you help me out with something? I need it rather urgently. Oh no, what happened? My son had an accident. I need money to pay his bills. I hate to ask this, but can you send this gift card? This, I'm going to say, is a scam. And so you can test yourself out. And here's another one. This one's also a scam. If I say it's safe, they'll tell me, no, this is a scam. And it'll tell you. Anyway, it's a great tool, fun thing to go through to test out some of these scenarios, get familiar with them. Additionally, on this site, there's also this button that says Scams. You can click on it, And again, it'll take you through some of the scams we talked about today and some additional ones that you can learn about and different things to look out for here. So definitely check this out. It's a great tool at your disposal if you ever need a reminder on any sort of scam threats out there and you want to just test your knowledge. All right, thank you for listening. As always, if you have questions on this topic, you can always call Cyber Seniors toll-free at 1-844-217-3057, or you can visit us online at cyberseniors.org. And this session was proudly sponsored by BreezeLine. You can visit BreezeLine online at www.breezeline.com. Thanks for listening.